Go on.
All right, everybody. This is SAFC Fan TV. I'm Sean Middleton. The game is just finished at the Keightmoor Stadium, the home of Doncaster Rovers. And a typical Sunderland, conceded in the 93rd minute, and it ended Doncaster 1, Sunderland 1. I think my face says it all. Michael Bowers is with us, and so is Conrad Lee. For me, it's 2 points dropped. That how we didn't see the game out, I'll never know. Where did it all go wrong? I mean, we're fully in control of the game, and you conceded in that 93rd minute. We went from being 4th in the table, and we've dropped to 8th. Unacceptable. Michael Bowers, what's your thoughts?
Well, I've just done a video on my own channel for this. I'm foaming at that. I didn't think the performance was that bad. I thought Sunderland, like yourself, I think Sunderland did control the game for large parts. Not necessarily without creating too much, but we controlled the middle of the park quite well. We stopped Doncaster's play. But at the end of the day, for me, and I've said it, when you take the lead, if you don't keep clean sheets, it's more difficult to win games. Now, granted, I do want Sunderland to be do more going forward, and I think that is something that needs to be addressed. And it's criminal it hasn't been addressed already, to be honest. But if you don't keep clean sheets, it makes it 10 times harder to win games of football. And these last 2 games, I know that, I do understand that we don't have a God-given right to win these games, but let's be brutally honest. Sunderland chucked away 5 points in the last 2 games. If Sunderland had held the lead in both games and done their jobs properly defensively, we would be second right now. We would have had an extra 5 points, and we would have been joint top with Hull, who probably would have had a better goal difference. The biggest annoyance is also, if we bothered to hold on to that win, we would be 1 point off second as well. Not good enough.
Conrad, I'll just go to you now. 93rd minute, is that the player's mentality or is it the manager? I mean, he's going to be under massive scrutiny again now. I mean, we should have won that game. We should have seen it out. He's already got loads of pressure on him. But who do you blame mainly? The players or Parkinson after the game?
Both as bad as each other, really, at this point. I thought all the players were playing fine. Again, I know people say you've waited too long to make changes. I didn't think he needed to make changes. None of them looked tired. None of them looked like they were putting a bad shift in or weren't doing anything. The one I thought, maybe Gooch for power, but because I thought at least when we were, for the last 10 minutes, every time we were winning the ball back off their attack, we were just hoofing it straight back to a Doncaster player, whether that just be in our own half or back to their defenders. At least Gooch was chasing down their defenders, and putting them under a bit of pressure. When we took him off, wherever the ball landed, it was just, that's it. That's where they're starting their attack from again. Because I kept saying about 75, 80 minutes, we're pushing them back. At least every time we give the ball back, we're forcing them back to their defence. So I don't know if that's, you blame Parky for just trying to sort of go, oh, hang on, 2 minutes left, let's just put max power on and we'll shut up. Power didn't have anything to do with the goal. It was just you took off someone who was actually doing us as a job, really. I didn't think Wyke was involved in the game. I wouldn't say he played bad, but he was isolated and we couldn't get it to him, so he wasn't involved really on there. I thought the defence had a really, really good game. The only thing was at the end, I need to see it again, but Flanagan just got turned so easy. And then did Bailey Wright get pushed, or did he just air kick it and it just went straight to their player who even then he only flicked at it and it went in. It's the one thing I will say though, it's the same thing again. We need second goals. We can't just rely on scoring one and going, well, that's it now, we've won. It doesn't work like that. We're not Wickham. We can't give up halfway through and think, oh well, we'll just get promoted now.
That's the Conrad. That's the fine margins about finishing in the top 2, and then look what's happened. Just happened. The fine margins of going in the top 2 or being in the playoffs and slipping out. We slipped out the playoffs because of us, being stupid. Really, we've been focused all the way through the game. Michael, you can't switch off in the 93rd minute in any game, and we did it here, and that's what's cost us. Is the writing on the wall now for Phil Parkinson, Michael?
But that's the biggest thing. Obviously, you can't rely on winning 1-0 every week. Everybody knows that. But at the same time, again, defenders are there to keep clean sheets. And again, I looked at the stats of the last 6 league games. Pompey, Rochdale, Gillingham, Ipswich, MK Dons, Doncaster. 1 clean sheet and 6 isn't good enough. While teams that go up do score more goals than what we are at the minute, teams that go up are also good at the back and are also good defensively. Where this is the biggest thing that for me was keeping Parkinson in. Now, where's this defensively solidity gone? Why all of a sudden are we conceding goals? I knew we were going to concede goals, don't get me wrong, but I didn't mean 1 clean sheet and 6 conceding goals. I did want a bit more clean sheets than this. And it's down to game management. It's down to game management. It's really poor. And like I said, this is one of the reasons that I'm Parkinson now, because I want a more proactive manager. You could tell, even though Doncaster weren't offering as much in terms of goal, forcing out Brad Matthews into saves, who still hasn't got a clean sheet, by the way, I think, since he's played for Sunderland, but that was his fault for the goal. It should have been stopped in the build-up. You can't just keep on chucking games away like that. You can't just keep on messing around with things like that. Again, it's down to game management. You could see that Doncaster was starting to get in the ascendancy the more the game was going on, and instead of trying to do something to change it, and instead of trying to manage the game effectively, Parky just seemed content with just to keep it as it was, and that ultimately, you could argue, has dropped us 2 points. That's where pressure comes in.
Michael's made the point there, Conrad, about keeping clean sheets, and I'm with him there totally. We haven't done that in a lot of the last few games. But for me, what epitomised the game today was the chances we had, and you don't take them. It comes back and bites you. When you win a 1-0, if you don't get a second goal, like we did today, we had chances to get the second goal, we didn't get it, and then Route 1 football, we conceded, and then we've dropped 2 points. These are fine margins. Do you think we need to? I mean, obviously keep clean sheets, Conrad, but also getting that second goal. It's good. It's the manager. It stems from the manager being negative and very defensive. You know what I mean? His tactics is starting to get found out now. People are starting to figure us out. We try to just rely on a 1-goal lead. The manager's got to take for that.
As I said before, we need a second goal, because if we can't keep a clean sheet, we need to score. We need to score more. Because if we're only scoring 1 per game, we're either going to draw or lose each time on there, if we're conceding so many. I might be wrong here, but thinking back to the game, I don't remember many clear-cut chances of ours. Gooch had that one where he went in and it was blocked in the second half. The biggest thing, and I'm still obviously gutted the way we conceded, but in the first half, we should have had a penalty. Gooch was clattered off the ball when he clearly got there first. It was the exact same situation against MK Dons. Their player got their first power, kicked him, and that it was a penalty. Gooch got there first, and their man took out Gooch, no penalty. It was the exact same thing. Gooch, again, wasn't even facing the goal like the MK Don player, but if you tackle someone off the ball, it's a penalty. Again, not saying we would have scored it, not saying we would have gone on to win the game, because that if we'd have scored then, Ledbetter might not have scored a few moments later, but we need to score more, because if we can't concede, if we can't stop conceding goals, then the only thing we can do to combat that is to try and score more than they do.
So, thanks for that comment. Michael, do you think now is a good time to maybe look at the manager and say, look, this guy is not getting the best out of the players. We need to make a change now rather than later. I mean, I was on the fence. Then I think today maybe I'm just looking and going, he's just too defensive. He's too defensive and we're too predictable, and we need to just get an attacking open man manager who can get us a second, get us that third. We're too negative, and it comes back and bites you. Do you think now Stuart Dunn's got to look and say this is not working, I need to make a change now rather than later?
That I would argue, yes, but the unfortunate thing is, as I said in the live stream, while Stuart Donald and all that, and while all of these ownership and all these people who are still here, there's absolutely no way, in my opinion, Parkinson's going to be facing the sack. A draw, in some respects, is probably the worst result that could have come out of today's game, because while I never ever want Sunderland to lose a game, a loss could have potentially accelerated Parkinson's departure and helped us save the season. A win, obviously, yeah, great. A draw, where does that leave us? It's ridiculous. Now, I'm not saying for 1 second the season's over, because of course it's not. And I'm one who's banged on about that more than anybody. But at the end of the day, our aim should be top 2. Whether people think it's realistic or not, I don't really care. If the aim is top 2, and if that's not our aim, then we might as well not bother supporting this club. And at the end of the day, we need to be. For me, that was one of the biggest reasons that Jack Ross went. We had something like 19 points after the first 10 games, but that wasn't deemed good enough, and when we were in the playoffs. So why is this good enough now? Now, Parkinson, granted, didn't get sacked last December when we were like 15th in the league, so I've got no doubt that he's staying now. But I just hope we don't look back at the season in May and think, if we did change the manager later on, if we'd done it earlier, we might have sneaked into the top 2. This is where you make the big decisions.
Yeah, I look at it now and you digest things, and I think maybe it is a good time to change it now. I mean, as Matt has said, will it change it? Probably not until a takeover goes through or whatever. So it looks like we are stuck with Parkinson. But I think an ambitious owner and an owner who knows, what they're talking about, he could see what's going wrong here, and he would make a change. Conrad, I mean, as Matt has said, I don't think he's going to sack Parkinson. So unfortunately for the people who want him out, it looks like we're stuck with him.
He ain't going to sack him. The only way he's going to sack Parkinson is if we start to fall down the table and be looking below us more than we're actually talking about chasing other teams on there. Because I think Parky only got to the end of the season. And he's
it's still the end of next season, I think. I think he's got another 18 months left on his contract.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, for me, I think what you were saying about the game management, the way we play, I've gone onto the side of Parky out now. Not because I'm like, well, yeah, I am. I'm annoyed at the way he plays. I'm annoyed at the way he sets us up. And I know there'll be people out there going, yeah, but who'd you get? Sometimes it's not about who we get next. It's about putting up with the shit that we have now. And I don't want to put up with this shit anymore.
No, that's exactly. I think commonly speak for a lot of supporters. I think Parkinson, the pressure on Parkinson is just going to be through the roof now. I mean, Michael, it's like we're keeping repeating ourselves here, but I mean, for me, I've tipped over the edge now. I think Parkinson, I've lost it with him now. I can't really defend him anymore. We should have won that game comfortably. His defensive style of football has made it hard for us to win the games. You know what I mean? And that costs us. You let him make 5 subs, he makes 2. If the players are getting tired in the 70th minute, make a couple of changes. And you know what I mean? He made 2 subs, and you got 5 to use. I will
say the players didn't look tired today, though. I will say, do you know, when we were watching the game, we did say they're not looking like, when you can tell someone like, take him off. He's sort of waving a bit on there. Not one of them today. I thought, maybe take him off. I think we maybe said around 80 minutes, Wyke for Graham, just to sort of change up the forwards a bit on there. But the midfield was still running. The wing backs were still getting forward and covering in and that. So I don't really think anyone on the bench would have made a massive difference. If you actually look at our bench, Embleton did come on, and I'm glad he got more minutes than... Like, if they'd have put Power on at his point and Embleton on at 92, I've been sitting there going, why? Like, why have we done that? At least Embleton got a bit of time coming on the pitch on there. But it's just, they weren't playing bad. And I'm not saying that we needed all 5 subs, because if you actually look at the bench, the 5 that we could have used aren't any better than what were on the pitch anyway.
If you look at it, lads, I mean, the last 4 results, the Mansfield, the MK Dons, it's not acceptable. It's not being big by saying we should be fighting for the top 2. We've slipped to 8th position in the league. You know what I mean? And it's just another missed opportunity when people got beat. Do you know what I mean? Ipswich drew. It's just, again, the cycle thing, Michael. Do you know what I mean? It's a missed opportunity. It's not good enough. It's not good enough.
I hate to make it worse for you, but Ipswich won in the last minute.
Oh my God!
Which makes it even worse. And as far as it's the same thing. The one thing I would say, everyone goes on about, it's not. But who are you gonna get? Who are you gonna get? Like Conrad said, it's not about. I can't believe that wouldn't be decent, regardless of the league that we're in. We should still be seen as an attractive proposition to the likes of Paul Cook. It's just absolutely. Like this one. I mean, it's too reactive. If that's going to be the case, then if we want to stay in this league, then fair enough. But we cannot afford to stay in this league for a 4th season. It's stupid. We shouldn't be accepting any of this. So there you go.
Anyway, lads, we'll just wrap it up. Thanks for that review of the Doncaster and Sunderland game, which obviously finished Doncaster 1, Sunderland 1. And please, could you subscribe to our channel? It's absolutely free. We're trying to get 5,000 subscribers by the end of 2020. Even if we get it to Christmas, if we get them by Christmas, will be absolutely fantastic. It's another depressing, demoralising display by Sunderland today. I mean, I say demoralising. The result is conceding the 93rd minute. It's not good enough. The pressure will be ramping up now on Phil Parkinson, and rightly so for me. I've tipped the edge, and now I am party out. I think he's got to go. Anyway, thanks for your time, and we'll see you tomorrow on the Sunday Bunch at 7 p.m. Thanks very much.
See you.